finally tackling how to write for a PhD. So I'll be giving you strategies for academic writing in the Algerian context. All right? First of all, there are some crucial elements in academic writing that require careful attention. So there are certain things that we usually always need to have in a piece of an academic writing. However, every piece of writing is context dependent, so you have always to think about your reader, okay, your examiner in the case of a PhD contest. So these are some writing essentials that are usually mandatory in any academic writing. Starting first with accuracy. So when talking about accuracy, we are generally talking about correct grammar, spelling, punctuation, vocabulary, etc. There is also the clear structure. So a well-organized essay format, that is introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusion. Also coherence and flow, logical progression of ideas, clear transitions between sentences and paragraphs, consistent tone and focus, etc. And we have the formal academic style. No contractions, no casual expressions, the use of appropriate academic vocabulary, objective and impersonal tone, so we always avoid using I think, in my opinion, etc. And we go for more of an objective style. However, when specifying the context, which is the Algerian context, or writing for an Algerian examiner or an Algerian reader in a PhD contest, it's different. Especially when it comes to the structure. In the introduction, it's simple. You begin generally with a hook, a catchy statement to draw the reader in, to hook your examiner, that is, and then briefly introduces the topic, the context, and clearly state the thesis statement, your main argument or perspective. The same goes for the conclusion. You generally restate the thesis statement in different words. You summarize the key ideas covered in the body paragraphs, and you offer a final reflection or implication, of course, without introducing new arguments. So, up till now, it's good. Okay, all is good. I had no problem with these two. However, when it comes to the body paragraph structure, there was the challenge. In the Algerian academic context, there is a widespread belief that each paragraph should contain only one simple idea. Okay, this is so important. Each paragraph starts with a topic sentence, followed by one example, two, three, a short conclusion, and that's it. This structure is so rigid, and it is actually designed for clarity and scoring in exams like IELTS or TOEFL. And this is why it's actually called the IELTS style of writing. In this structure, each body paragraph contains one point only. For example, at Schliff University in the sociolinguistic contest, they asked us to talk about the factors leading to language variation. So in this case, it would be better if the student, or I would say the candidate, talks about or includes only one point per paragraph. Let's say age, and then gender, and then ethnicity, and then occupation, etc. Okay, one factor per paragraph. So essays are often judged based on how directly and simply the question is answered. Okay, so this is what the examiners are expecting from you. They are expecting you to directly and simply answer the question, to give them what they want. And so students who organize their essays thematically may be misunderstood or undervalued. Like, this is a humongous challenge that I had to go through. And those with advanced thinking styles may feel forced to simplify their ideas to conform to this exact structure. And this was the challenge that I had to go through. This is what I learned the hard way. Um, this was the core difference between what I did at Mustaghanem University, or at Mustaghanem University's contest, and what I did at Schliff University contest. So at Mustaghanem University, I was basically following the normal academic style. We will talk about that just in a moment, okay? So, and I remember that I've posted my answers on Facebook, and the majority of the comments were all like, what you are doing is too complex, you have included too many elements, you have to reduce the things that you're talking about, you have to stick to one point or one thing per paragraph, etc. And I honestly took all of those comments into consideration, and I tried to adapt real fast, though the math was not mathing, but I had to do it because I understood that it was controlled by the Algerian context, and that I have to think about what my reader wants from me, not what I want to write. You see, this is so important. At Schliff University, I had to do this exact thing. So I had to simplify my ideas to conform to this structure. To talk more about why this is problematic for PhD level writing. In higher level academic writing, and especially in PhD contests, that is, this narrow one point per paragraph format is not sufficient, okay? Why? Because advanced writing requires thematic grouping. For instance, each paragraph may center around a conceptual category. So it's not only one idea, but sometimes one conceptual category. For instance, at Schliff University, again, the question was to talk about the factors leading to language variation. Now, I had two different ways. The first one was me, the second one was the Algerian context. Honestly, the first one, which was all about how I personally would approach the question, it was to structure my body paragraphs around conceptual frameworks, or I would say conceptual categories. Okay, so I would have talked about biological factors that can lead to language variation, so sociological factors that can lead to language variation in a separate paragraph, and cognitive factors leading to, and geographical factors leading to. You see, I could have done that. I could have structured my body paragraphs into different conceptual categories. Okay, this was one way of answering the question. This is what is normally required or expected in academic writing, especially at a PhD level. Okay. However, I then again was forced to simplify my ideas to conform to the structure expected in Algeria. Okay, so I had to conform. Okay, I had to simplify the ideas, and instead of doing what I've just told you, I decided to tackle one factor per paragraph. So age in one paragraph, gender in one paragraph. I had to do that. There is also what is called the analytical development. Okay, multiple related subpoints can be developed within one paragraph to explore the category in depth. This is exactly what I have done at Mustaghanem University. Okay, it was literally an analytical development. So I had multiple related subpoints, and I tried to develop them all in one paragraph because the question was so deep. Okay, the question was interdisciplinary, and so this is why I said related subpoints. Okay, There is also the conceptual depth. Essays must show the writer's ability to categorize, to analyze, to synthesize ideas. So it's not only to list them point by point, okay? This is what is normally expected, okay, in a PhD contest. However, this is not the case in Algeria. Be careful. This is not the case in Algeria, which means in Algeria there is a problem of critical thinking. This rigid one idea per paragraph, and I do stress on that, one idea per paragraph approach does not just limit the structure, but also restricts critical thinking. Because when students are told to avoid grouping concepts, to stick to overly simplified points, to answer directly without analysis, this is literally limiting their critical thinking. This was a major challenge for me. And honestly, this is something that I've learned the hard way. Believe me, it was so hard for me to let go of my critical thinking. So hard. And believe me, when I was next to the question, reading it, and I had two different ways of answering the question, torn between the two, it was very challenging. It was a risk that I had to take. So these are my top 5 writing tips in the Algerian context. Listen, I can give you many tips. We can talk about how to write an introduction, how to write a conclusion, how to build your own style, how to improve your vocabulary, how to, I don't know, many things, because every single point, every single thing we've tackled already deserves a video on its own. However, the most important thing is the Algerian context. You need to know what is expected from you here in Algeria, what your Algerian examiner is looking for. This is the most important thing. This is what you should be working in accordance with. So these are my top 5 writing tips. First of all, answer the question directly. Algerian examiners expect clear, straightforward answers. So stop using your critical thinking, doing nothing. This is not going to take you anywhere. They will think that you don't know the answer. That's why you are moving around and around in circles around it and not touching it, in fact. So give them the answer directly and try to put your topic sentence at the very beginning of your paragraph. Okay, so that's because, believe me, it's so hard to focus and to look for the answer in hundreds and hundreds of pages that they are reading. So try to simplify that for them. This is the answer. It is in the topic sentence, the first, the topic sentence of the paragraph. This is the answer. Straightforward answers. This is the total opposite of critical thinking. This is number one. And I'm talking about my own specialty. Language sciences, linguistics, applied linguistics, didactics, these things, okay? 2, stick to a clear structure. So you have an introduction, 3 to 4 to 5 to 6, it depends, because at some universities they've limited us, okay? We had a very limited number of lines. If you're not limited, feel free to do so, okay? Just tackle one idea per paragraph. You can have 5, 6 paragraphs, it's okay, but one idea per paragraph. And a strong conclusion. Use one idea per paragraph if unsure, because many Algerian readers or examiners prefer this format because it facilitates the grading, okay? It facilitates examining your paper. Keep language formal and error-free. Grammar, spelling, clarity are heavily judged, though typos do occur. We are human beings, we're not machines. It's fine, it's okay. I've done that. Many winners have done that too. However, try your best not to make silly mistakes. There are some mistakes that, silly, okay? So, especially in grammar, try to avoid that. Finally, balance simplicity with depth. Listen, when I tell you to have simple, direct answers, clear answers. I am not in any way, shape, or form asking you to remove the depth from your answers. The opposite. Try to balance, okay? Try to have that balance to show your level in a clear way. So, be clear, but show your ability to group ideas logically. Show your ability to support that topic sentence. Use your quotes or references or things that you've learned by heart. Use the things that you know. Use the information that you have to support that topic sentence. If you are asked to illustrate, illustrate, give examples. If you are asked to discuss, do discuss. It depends on the question, obviously, but try always to keep the depth, okay? And basically, this is it. So, these are things that I've learned the hard way. These are things that worked for me. These are things that I'm sharing with you based on my own experience in the PhD contest. These are things that I've struggled with the most. These are the most important things that you need to be aware of. All right? Thank you so much, and please don't forget to subscribe. Inshallah, in the next videos, we'll be talking more and more about the other things, like how to improve your writing, your vocabulary, your style, how to actually have a style, um, how to use quotes. If you have any more questions, you can always put them in the comments, and I will try to answer them. And have a peaceful night and take care.